Listen up, y'all, cause this is it. Forget that old dance and let's dance. Let's dance. Let's dance. Let's dance. There's a brand new dance and it's coming your way. It was started in Miami by the Get a DJ. Say some call it nasty, but that's not true. Just the only dance that you can do. Cause you need a sexy body, make your partner come alive. If you can't do that, don't even try. So get yourself together and learn it quick. Just get on the floor and throw that D. When I went to Miami, couldn't believe my eyes. This female was stoned, wanted me to try. If you don't know how to do it, here's what you must do. Just listen up close, I'll explain to you. Just jump in the air, and when you land, you whine like you just don't care. It's all in the hips, so go berserk and let that do the work. So while it's working, you better start stroking to show your partner that you ain't joking. Cause this ain't a dance from Mother Goose. Better freak your body and turn it loose. Cause when you're on the floor, you don't give a shit. All you wanna do is throw that D, throw that D, throw that D, throw that D.
Throw that D. Throw that D. Dallas gonna have to throw that D today, baby. What's good, Bob?
Oh, man, that was one hell of an intelligent segue, man. I didn't even think about it when they were. I'm so used to hearing that song, knowing what they're really talking about. I didn't even think with the way you put it. It hit me in the last verse, and I was like, "Oh shit, he's talking about that defense." Big up. Always some love out for the Two Live Crew. Thanks for posting that picture of me, Eric B, at the Two Live Crew concert years back. He came out here, and we got to hang out with Mr. Mix, one of our old friends out from the neighborhood. So, yeah, man, we appreciate that, man. That was a real cool shout out right there.
Hell yeah, throw that D. Not that D, but that D, if you know what I mean. We talking about throwing that D in South Beach today. The Dallas Cowboys visiting the Miami Dolphins. Welcome, everybody, to the show. We're streaming on 3 platforms today. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and on that platform called X. This is week 16 in the trenches, the pregame show. You know, we're going to have the keys to victory. We got a special guest. Well, he's not really, he's a special guest still, but he's been here with us time and time again. He was on that intro. I think that's pretty cool. You know, Two Live Crew is some Cowboy fans, if I'm not mistaken. Are they not, Bob?
They are, man. They are. And that's another kind of that's the other connection that we've always had with that city and the Dallas Cowboys. Obviously, there were, University of Miami fans, and then Jimmy went to Dallas. And, they most of Miami followed that pattern if they weren't diehard Cowboys fans at the time. And shout out real quick to Mr. Mix for actually autographing that, giving me a nice little autograph on that UM, but it always stays covered by this one. So
nice little history there as we've got the connections and links between the Dallas Cowboys and the Two Live Crew. The Dallas Cowboys are in the 305 today at Miami Gardens, kicking off here in about an hour and a half on Christmas Eve. the number 2 team in the AFC with the Miami Dolphins. They actually lead the league in offense. We're going to be talking about that on the keys to victory. But before we get into there, let's give a few shout outs. Yeah, Russell, we throwing that back, baby. Throw that D.
What up, Russell? Good to see you. Always around.
Y'all throw that bar up. Let's go, Green Bay. It's time to throw that bar. It's time to raise that bar. Raise that bar. Let's raise the bar and share this video. Let's help some muscle grow here today on the pregame show. All important game on Christmas Eve. Hey, Tanya down in Arkansas. We'll see you. What up, Bobby? You know how it goes. Here we go. Time to get it in. Good morning, Nicole. That's a November Gym Rat of the Month tapping in. Big time fanatic $200 gift card winner right there, Nicole. Thank you for tapping in. Park Ranger is in the building. We see y'all, Bobby. We see y'all. Appreciate y'all tapping in. All the usual suspects. Make sure you share this video. We'll just go ahead and bring our guest to the show. If he's back there, where'd he go?
Throw that B.
Throw that B. Throw that B.
Hey, great intro, man. Throw that D. Miami. Not only 305, the game's in Miami, and yeah, you got that history, but the defense, so no pun intended. Maybe I think you intended it, but that defense better show up, right?
He intended it. Trust me. That's BG. BG works. BG works when he's working.
Perfect intro.
I'm in my bag today, baby. You know, I always got good intentions here, but I want to ask both of y'all, being from Miami, being from the 305. I know, Bob, you're up in Denver. Eric, you're still out there in Florida. What was it like growing up in the 90s as Cowboy fans in Florida?
Well, I'll tell you what, real quick. First of all, my strain for today is commando, because we need to definitely get a hold of this unit and this army that we've got and make sure we beat the hell out of these Dolphins. So I'm puffing some commando today. Let me know what strain you're smoking on for your game day strain. What it was like growing up in Miami as a Dallas Cowboys fan was absolutely awesome. And without getting too deep and too dark or go far back, there was a specific time in Miami's history called the Mariel Boat Lift, where a lot of Cuban immigrants were sent over to Miami. Now, that might not make a lot of difference to a lot of people, but those people tried hard to assimilate with American culture, and the way they did that was by becoming Dallas Cowboy fans. The major Hispanic community, there was a lot of them were Cowboys fans. A lot of them were obviously Miami Dolphin fans because they went with the hometown. But I feel, and I think Eric can say this, growing up, I didn't get shit growing up in Miami as a Cowboys fan. There were so many of us out there. And we were just so big during that time that it was almost like you could talk shit about Dallas, but who are you? You know what I mean? Unless you're the San Francisco 49ers or somebody that actually did something. But I never got any beef out there at all. It was all love. And I had Eric there. I had John. We had Paul, Damien. We got a very tight group of Cowboys fans that we had at least 5 of us that will throw hands. So we really didn't get a lot of beef at that time. It was always love. And we were able to go to all the bars, the local bars, and watch the Cowboys game. There was always a Cowboys game on in every bar in Miami.
Yes, indeed. And it was because of Jimmy Johnson influence, UM coach coming over and winning Super Bowls, and having you guys there was the best. 90s, I remember there was a time where every time we scored, I'd take a drink, or sometimes all of us would take a drink. And so basically the early 90s was a blur for me because I was drinking a lot of drinks.
Right.
So, I mean, it was just what a great time out there watching the games, UM style, all the way to Dallas style, throw that deep.
And Dolphins fans weren't beefy with us either. Like all the time we went to games there, they were really fucking cool, man. Again, we're not an AFC team. We're not a rival. We're just a big name team. And so, but they still give us respect. It's always been love at those games, man. I've always loved going to Miami Dolphin games, Cowboys games in Miami, because they don't talk shit, man. You know what I mean? Like they're humble and they're usually good people. Some of them do.
Nice. Thank you guys for sharing that. Let's go ahead and as we talk about Miami, we'll pull up the Miami Stat Muse here. We want to take a look at some numbers here today before we get into the 3 keys to victory. One is all too familiar. I mean, after last week, guys, we know what this Miami Dolphins team can do in terms of speed. We know speed kills, especially around the edge, as James Cook last week from the Buffalo Bills cooked this Dallas Cowboys D. They weren't throwing no damn D. The Cowboys are going to have to stop this run game of the Dolphins today, which happens to lead the league at total offense at 31.5 points a game. I mean, they got that throw that speed around the curve today. What are we going to do to keep the Dolphins from rushing over 100 yards today on the road, Bob?
100%, we have to have pressure on Tua. That's the way that's got to be. what we didn't do last week on the defensive line, we simply have to do this week, which is going to be another tough challenge. Hankins is out again. So we've still got the same defensive line we had last week that got decimated. We still have the same linebackers out there that got beat on the outside by James Cook. We got a lot of defensive issues that I'm hoping and thinking they shored up during this time off, because honestly, like I said, we don't make the same mistakes twice. We don't have shitty games back-to-back. Quinn very rarely has a bad performance 2 weeks in a row. I know he's got these guys hyped up because he has to. They're going up against Waddle. They're going against Tyreek Hill. They're going against A-Chain, Raheem Mostert. They've got a fast squad, and they know the formula now. Everybody knows the formula. Run on Dallas, you'll probably beat them.
Have they sat back, Eric B? Do you think the Dolphins sat back last week and watched film from the Buffalo Bills on how they dismantled this Cowboys defense, and are they looking to throw that speed today on the Cowboys? What do you think?
You know it. Well, one thing that we have to our advantage is that Tua only has 4 rushing first downs as a quarterback. Okay, I think this guy Allen had 4 last week against us. So, we don't have to sell out on him. Get your front four creating a little pressure and spread it out and fill the lanes and contain them. We don't have to work because Tua's not going to beat you with his feet. He's scared to run with his head, concussions. He only has 4 first downs all year rushing. So you can spread it out. We got Dan Quinn's going to come up with a way better game plan, and I think he will. And we're 9-0 to go back to Bob's stat. 9-0 after a loss. It's the best streak currently right now.
That's pretty sick. That's big.
I like us to be able to hang our hat on that, but when you look at this speed of the Miami Dolphins, they are 10-4. The Cowboys 10-4. We see somebody tapping in here. It says Bobby says, "What's your call on the 10-4 game?" We're going to get to that in just a second. But the Miami Dolphins passing game. Now we're just talking about the running game. I mean, Tua's averaging 285 yards. I believe Tyreek is going to be in today. We've gotten word from the injury report. Zach Martin is going to be playing today. Malik Hooker is going to be active today. So that was some good news. We know Tyron Smith is going to be out. That's a little troubling for the offensive line. We'll get to that in just a second. Pretty sure, TJ Bass, I'm not certain who's going to take, or they're going to move some folks around to figure that out. But passing game of the Miami Dolphins at 285 yards. I mean, this pass rush didn't even get any sacks on Josh Allen last week. I'm a little
had 2 tackles.
concerned, guys, even though we haven't lost 2 games in a row, back-to-back like that since November of 2011 or 2021. I'm really concerned, y'all, against the Cowboys on the road, against a team that can run and put it in the air. I don't know how many adjustments Dan Quinn is going to give, because we didn't see any in that second half, it seemed like, against the Buffalo Bills. So I'm a little concerned today. Not only have we stopped the run, but now we've got this passing game of Tua. How do you guys think we're going to get this?
I got something. Tua is 5th in touchdown throws. First in completion percentage. All right, that's just his game. Dak is 2nd in touchdowns in the NFL and 4th in completion percentage. This is a very even matchup going in at the passing game. But Dak, I would take my money on Dak getting more first downs on a scramble than Tua, because Tua doesn't want to do that. So I think we're going to be able to contain them. We're going to have to try to contain them, because I don't think you can stop them.
Yeah, I like the fact that Tua's only got 4 rushing touchdowns. That tells you, I know Tua's not going to get out on his feet as much.
4 rushing first downs, not touchdowns. 4 rushing first downs.
There we go.
That's not like he doesn't do it very often.
Even a smaller sample size there. So yes, going to be some serious questions today. Y'all know my first key to victory today, which always is our first key to victory, because the Cowboys can't seem to stop a bloody nose, is can we contain this run game under 100 yards today? If the Cowboys can keep their opponents under 100 yards, they are 5-0, I believe. Here, let's take a look at the Cowboys are undefeated, 5-0 when allowing less than 100 rushing yards this season, tied best in the NFL. That's according to BetMGM. I mean, I don't know. Do you guys think we can hold this rushing attack under 100 yards here today?
I'll say this much. This is my boy, man. It's my boy. It's the line. We all understand the line. We know what this guy does, but we also understand that when he's not in a game, he is not in the game at all. There are times where teams have found a way to neutralize him. What you do is you run away from him, pass away from him, let him do whatever the hell he's going to do, get the ball out in 2 seconds. There's a lot of ways you can beat Micah Parsons. But what if I see on at least one or maybe two downs on defense, he's back there at linebacker, then I know we're doing something different. And I know we can make a difference in stopping that run if we keep Micah Parsons in the linebacker position for specific scenarios throughout the day-to-day. I don't know if they're going to do it, but he's a beast at linebacker, man. And I know he does what he does on the end. But y'all, we remember what he was doing at linebacker with Van Der Esch, with some healthy guys there. And he could go back to that. I think we pigeonholed this guy a little bit, man. And if I see him at linebacker, I will say to myself, Dan Quinn's fucking serious this week.
Well, it's been a lot of discussion this week. We heard a lot from the fan base. Eric B., this is going to be pointed at you. A lot of the fan base was saying that Micah should be placed back in the linebacker position. The linebacker himself came out in the media and said that he's getting moved around to a lot of different spaces, which gives other players opportunities for them to find out what they have. Would you expect to see Micah at the linebacker position today? Do you think Dan Quinn moves him over, or what might happen with that, Eric?
Yeah, that's what Bob just pointed out, and people, it's an obvious thing. He needs to be utilized where we need him best, and it goes to the stat I gave earlier. With Tua, get your front four, your down lineman, and just create some pressure with that, and keep Parsons not blitzing up the middle on the side, getting taken out of the game, running by him, and put him back in the linebacker position and let him run sideline to sideline and cover the speed. Because speed in the NFL, you get the edges. But so you need Parsons out there trying to contain get him back in. So, yeah, I think that should happen. And I hope it does. Dan Quinn's usually pretty good about that stuff. So,
listen, man, Parsons running down a running back after rushing past the defensive line, as opposed to being back there as a linebacker already, is night and day. That guy, he's moving forward so much that the run's going to go past him. So I just think we need him at that linebacker position, man.
There's been a lot of talk about that. It's going to be interesting to see how the Dallas Cowboys are going to come out defensively, especially against this potent Miami Dolphins offense here. So let's talk about this game here today as essentially being a game of who can beat somebody over 500. You know, the knock has been on the Miami Dolphins too as well. They've been beating teams under 500. I think they're 0-3 against teams over 500. The Cowboys, it's a little slided, but we're 1-3. We know the that the Jets were winners, the Seahawks are winners, but folks only want to move the goalposts around the Cowboys when it's convenient for them. So us 1-3 essentially against teams above 500. What does that do with two records today, 10-4? How do you guys feel about the records of each team's coming in today with as much as we have on the line? You see the Miami Dolphins are second in the AFC. I know the Bills are rooting for the Cowboys to beat the Dolphins today. Should the Dolphins win today, I believe they clinch their playoff berth. Should the Cowboys win today, y'all know we need to win out to maintain this NFC East standings. But with these two records at 10-4, who do you think is going to have the better game today?
Well, you just said it. I mean, look, we're already in the playoffs, right? That should not translate to our team not trying as hard as they should, right? We understand that. But the Dolphins have not clinched yet. If they win, they do. So we're going to get that going on today. The other part of all this is we can talk about all these little scenarios and these statistics, the fact that they haven't beaten us in 20 years. We can talk about all of these things, but it doesn't matter because Buffalo put our ass to sleep a couple weeks ago and barely beat the Chargers yesterday. You know, it's just that all these different variables pop up and it's too hard for you to call one week to another. All the stuff that we say about how Miami plays and how Dallas plays, that shit's going out the window. It's really going to come down to how bad does Miami want to get into the playoffs today, and how bad do we want to continue a win streak in order to have our strength of schedule tiebreaker give us the advantage to get home field advantage during these playoffs, because that's going to be the biggest part of all this, man. It's hard as shit for that to happen, but they're going to be a tough team to play, man. They are not slow, man. It's going to be crazy tough, man. And they're going to
put CeeDee Lamb in the slot where he belongs. When he lines up in the slot, CeeDee Lamb has 700 yards out of his 1,000 whatever and 6 TDs. Both of them are the best in the slot in the NFL. So just keep him in the slot and tear him up because their defense You put them outside one-on-one against Ramsey, that's not a good matchup. You got to utilize – they got to be smart and utilize these guys right today. Parsons on the D, throw that D, and then CDE has to be utilized correctly. We can make a splash and come up with a victory.
Throw that to CD. I'm with you all the way. But that's going to be our second key to victory today is this offense, this Texas Coast offense in South Beach today. We didn't see this Texas Coast offense get in any kind of rhythm against the Buffalo Bills.
But he's never done.
Always get into any kind of offensive rhythm here today. I mean, the Dolphins' current defense is they're allowing 21 points per game in the league. They are 14th. Their defense is ranked 14th in the league. Can this Cowboys, Mike McCarthy play calling offense get in any kind of rhythm today? I'm with you. I think we need to go right out to the slot with CD, get him going early. He is our best playmaker on offense. So the second key to the game is going to be getting this Texas Coast offense in a rhythm in South Beach here today.
Yeah.
The rhythm is gonna get you. The rhythm is gonna get you.
No Miami Sound Machine. I draw the line there. I draw the line there, bro. But hey, you know, but that's the truth. We got a lot of things that don't match up well with their defense as well. So that's going to be great. The fact that our tight end is playing off the wall right now, I think is going to be we haven't even spoken about him yet, but I think he may be a factor in this game that we are not speaking about. Obviously, we're going to have to worry about. Yeah, we're going to have to worry about Gilly and Bland covering, Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill. That's the biggest test of the year for these guys, no matter what. I don't give a shit who you are. Those dudes are burners. And Gilly's a little old, but he locked down AJ. He's locked down some killer wide receivers this year. And I think that if the defense pushes through today, I'm going to feel a lot better about winning. Let me ask you this, BG, back to those statistics that you probably have stat views up. How are the Miami Dolphins defense against the run?
Defense against the run, they are fifth. They're fifth in the league, allowing opponents to run on them currently. And they're going back to that passing defense that you were talking about of CeeDee Lamb and also attacking that defense. They are ranked 11th in passing yards right now. So they definitely have their spots where Mike McCarthy, Dak Prescott can strike. But going back to that second key to the victory, it's not going to matter if we fuck around and get behind like we did with Buffalo. That just changes the whole game plan schematically, where you take out the run. I mean, I was a little curious last week in that first half. There was no rain, and the Cowboys are running the ball. And I really liked how Tony Pollard looked. It looked like he had a little bit more of a burst. It looked like he was hitting them holes a little bit harder than he had before. But then when that rain came, I mean, we didn't even get any kind of passing game, it seemed like, before it started raining. And then as the rain picked up in the second half, we just didn't get that many chances. And as you heard Dak Prescott say, it didn't seem like we got that many offensive plays off to begin with. So Texas Coast offense continuity today is going to be important. But I'm with you, Eric B. I think we need to go right at CeeDee Lamb in the slot where he is a beast. And it's going to be curious to see how this offense is going to come out in this first quarter against this defense of Miami. Where are they going to pick? Are they going to try to run the ball, establish the run, or are they going to go after this 11th ranked secondary right now on this passing game and try to attack with CD in the slot?
Might be a little bit of a track meet, I think. Might be a little bit of a track meet. I hope we can keep up with them. It's, the weather's going to be pretty good in Miami, and not that that's always a factor, but that's a tiebreaker. And the weather's all right. It's not hot. It's not cold. It's not raining. It's not windy. It's just 75 degrees.
Yeah, I think that's what it is out there currently. 75 degrees. It's 76 right now in Miami. 0% chance of rain. It is 65% humidity. Wind is at 18% or 18 miles per hour rather. So no rain here today. Definitely going to be humid. It's going to be a great game to get the ball. But Kelly is tapping in here. She gives us a great segue for the next context. Is this going to have to be a penalty-free game? We need a no-penalty game. I don't know about the Dallas Cowboys and no penalties. Has that ever happened?
Yeah, I think I think there might have been. There has to have been at least one every 13 years or something, maybe.
Yeah, maybe the ones that we didn't watch, or
it's like the whole 2006 season or some shit like that. Like something we didn't really that was really bad.
Quincy Carter, what?
Yeah.
He always had a false start.
The Cowboys are currently leading the league still with 102 penalties. The Miami Dolphins sit at 83 penalties right there. That is the stark difference, almost 20. It's 19 penalties between them. So can the discipline of the Cowboys always seem to get a holding call when we get a momentum play or something like that? We've seen that, especially in the Bills games. There was some personal fouls called that resulted in touchdowns later on down the road. The Cowboys definitely going to have to play a good disciplined game, and that's the great segue for number three key to victory today is playing disciplined football, especially on the road. You're not going to be on the road in Miami against a running team like this and creating all these dumbass penalties and expecting to win. I'm with you, Kelly. The Cowboys are going to have to win the penalty game. The discipline of this team on the road is going to have to be at an all-time high today for us to get this road win. I like the fact that we haven't lost 2 games in a row since 2021. However, have you seen the parity in the league this season? Have you seen what is going on? Some teams winning that shouldn't be winning and vice versa. But the battle of 2, 10, and 4 teams, I also agree. Discipline, third key to victory is whichever team is least penalized, I believe, is going to win the game today.
Well, that usually goes to the home team, unfortunately, but
this is the deal. And so all we can do as fans is hope our the things that we believe in, all those kinds of things that we believe in, all the, like, if we wear this jersey, we're going to win, yada, yada, yada. My favorite number is 8. That's been my favorite number my entire life. 8. 8 years ago, me and Eric B were at the same stadium they were playing right now, and we gave them a crushing loss. That's actually consequently when I started growing my beard. I said, if Romo wins this game for us, I will not shave for a year. And that's what made me start growing my beard, because I did not think he was going to win that game for us. At any rate, I want this to be a headline again. This is what I want.
Miami Herald. That's Miami Herald.
Is the Miami Herald. Yeah, you've got this. I know you've got copies of this. I know you do.
I do.
We all went to that game, and that's what I want to see today. We unfortunately weren't able to go because of, it's Christmas Eve. And
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas indeed. But we couldn't get out there. So I'm hoping that particular piece of history is going to repeat itself, because I just don't know what to call. We won 24-14. I'd be happy if that's what we won by today, if I'm being honest. That'd be dope. That would be somehow us holding them to 14 points and us doing what we need to do in order to win on the road. I've got faith, but, man, it's going to be tough, man. This is not a rollover Miami Dolphins team. They have built a good
21-14. Is that what
24-14.
24-14. So that's 38 points right now. Currently by BetMGM, the over/under is 51. So that'll be on the over. Well, actually, your prediction is on the under, Bob. So thank you. The Dolphins are 1.5 points favorites at home, rightfully so. It's going to be interesting. But as we get ready to slide into these numbers, Bob has given his prediction. Y'all throw your predictions up in the comments. 24-14, that is 38. Like we said, the over/under is 51 points on that, according to BetMGM today. Eric B., what do you got in terms of numbers for your predictions today?
30-28 Cowboys.
Ooh, 30-28. That's 58. Definitely on the over. Over/under is 51, so definitely on the over. That is a lot of points. That is not a lot of defense, it seems. But if you got your predictions, throw them up in the comments. We want to hear from you. The over/under is 51. Bob's 24-14. Eric B., yours was, what was
30,
it again?
28.
What's you, BG?
I'm thinking 32-17 on the under. So
all right.
49 points. I believe, the Cowboys have been on the over for the most of the season, but the last couple of games, I believe, especially with Buffalo, they didn't score that many points. I think we had, 10 points last game. So definitely the Cowboys are going to have to get this Texas Coast offense rolling. We're going to put some points on the board. I'm glad we got Brandon Aubrey, who's automatic, but that's going to be a variable today. Should the Cowboys get into the red zone, they can't walk away with 3 today. They got to get 7.
All right,
Aubrey wins the game, though, late with the field goal.
Nicole's throwing up her predictions there, 21-17. Kendrick Thompson, thank you for tapping in for YouTube. Special shout out to all of those folks on YouTube and X that's on right now. Kendrick's 35-20. That's on the over right there. Appreciate that. But yeah, let's recap those 3 keys to victory.
Real quick before we get there, we still got to do our built different boast. EB, you got something that you want to boast about? What do you think is going to happen? It's sort of like a bold prediction, if you will, something that you think might happen that people don't know or don't think is going to happen? What do you think is going to happen? What is your built different boast today?
Okay.
Today, I think it will be, I'm going to stick with 88 playmaker 4.0 in the slot, outperforming Tyreek Hill and or Waddle, not combined, but one of, or maybe even both. Better stats on his side, we win.
That's a bold
right,
take
man.
right there. CeeDee Lamb is definitely on pace to catch Michael Irvin's record for most receptions in a season, or most yards. I think Michael Irvin had 1,600. I think CD's around 12 or 1,300 or something like that. So I think targeting him today, that definitely helps your campaign, Bob. I like that built different boast right there.
Yeah, I'm taking my built different boast as Micah Parsons being the reason that Tua will not do well today. That's my
At
boast.
the linebacker position?
I'm not even saying how. I'm not saying how. I'm leaving it open for interpretation. But I'm letting you know right now that Micah Parsons will be the reason that Tua Tagovailoa does not do well today. BG, what is your built different boast?
Well, I want to take a look at the stats here. The Dallas Cowboys are currently averaging 268 passing yards a game. I'm just going to go out on a limb, put a 4 in the air for Dak Prescott. I think Prescott passes for 400 yards today and at least 3 touchdowns. I think it's going to be pretty explosive, although my point spread says otherwise. But I think that Dak Prescott is going to put this team on his back like he did with the Seattle game. And I think if they can't get that run game going, or maybe they have to come from behind, maybe the Dolphins get up on us early, is going to cause this game plan to shift. So I'm saying Dak Prescott 400 yards and at least 3 touchdowns in the air today. Yeah, we're going that route, baby, in South Beach. We're going to throw that D, throw that D.
All of a sudden, you're going to start hearing Dak for MVP again, how it disappeared in 1 week and is going to come right back if that happens. We know this.
I hope so.
Kendrick says, I predict 1 pick from the defense, from the Parsons effect. Built different. Appreciate that. If you got your built different boast, throw them up in the comments. What do you think is going to happen in today's game? I love it. I love it. I love it. The 3 keys to victory. Recapping as you get your built different boasts in the comments there. The 3 keys to victory today. The Cowboys have to stop this rushing attack of the Miami Dolphins to hold them 100 yards. The stats per bet MGM is the Cowboys are 5-0, best in the league when we can hold teams under 100 rushing yards. But y'all know that has been our Achilles heel. Can they make it happen on the road today? I think we'll shut up a lot of haters and a lot of the noise. Should they get that done? The second key to the game is going to be this Texas Coast offense. Like Eric B said, I think we need to target CeeDee Lamb early. We need to get some fluid in this offense. We need to get some synergy going, get some energy going, get some play calling going there, some momentum. So definitely with this offense. And then third, like we talked about, Kelly said, not penalty free, but we definitely have to win the war of attrition on penalties, because y'all know, even though I think we got 4 or 5, I think 5 penalties last week, 3 of those penalties out of the 5 resulted in the Buffalo Bills scoring. So the Cowboys are going to have to be very, very disciplined today, especially on the road. And I'm glad that we're not in that weather like we were in Buffalo, because that 75-degree weather down there today with 0% precipitation. I like the way that weather is shaping up. Looks to be a beautiful game out there in Miami Gardens today.
You know what I would love to see? I would love to see Parsons out there on the edge, but as soon as the ball is hiked, him dropping back into coverage.
Yeah, Parsons might get that pick. Homeboy, the guy, I forget who it was that said that. Parsons,
if you can't get him as a linebacker, if you want to keep these guys that we already have there as our linebackers, you can do that. You can make them think they're about to go ahead. Now, that obviously buys the offensive line of the other team a little bit more time for protection, but they're not blocking anybody.
Tua's not running anyway. So
yeah, that may be that we got to get smart today. And again, Dan Quinn, after a loss, and especially after a loss where your defense got beat the ass out of, I really think he's going to respond. He's going to have these guys ready to play well. And we're playing in gorgeous weather on Christmas Eve, man. It's going to be a game, man. I really think it's going to be a game, because it's just going to be so nice, man. When we were there 8 years ago, we were getting poured on in a torrential hurricane. It was absolutely horrible, and we still pulled it out 24-14. So I think we can do it.
Ho, ho, ho. You know, it's better to give than to receive. My guy Russell Hoback got it right, baby. Can the Cowboys give the Miami Dolphins, the number 2 team in the AFC currently, a big fat L on Christmas Eve? It is a war of attrition, especially on that injury opponent. We know that the Miami Dolphins, we posted that injury report here earlier this week. They have their fair share, a number of players dealing with injuries too as well. It's going to be interesting to see, can this Dan Quinn, this Mike McCarthy-led Dallas Cowboys team, are they going to have them ready? Because we know if we come out there and get from behind, it's going to be a long day. But I expect the Cowboys to get out there and hit them in the mouth early, especially in South Beach, baby. They're going to have to get this one. They're going to have to get this one over with, man, because we got to come back home, you know, where them Cowboys are red hot on the 30th to take on them pesky Detroit Lions led by Dan Campbell. But today it's Mike McDaniel and the Wiz Kid out there with the #1 offense in the league. Mike McDaniel, one of the youngest coaches in the league. The Dolphins are currently the #1 offense. The Cowboys are the #2 offense. But I like the battle of defenses because the Cowboys are holding their opponents to 18.9 points, and the Dolphins are holding their opponents to, let me get this up here, they're allowing 21 points a game. So, you know, the Cowboys can get above 30 to above points. They're going to win this game today. So make sure and throw your game predictions up there. The Dolphins are favored, like we said, by 1.5. We've got all our predictions in. All our built different boasts are up. And now it is time to get in the game, y'all. Any special things on the menu today for Christmas Eve, Bob?
You know, I don't know what we were going to do something, and I don't know that we're going to do it anymore, but it doesn't matter. We got a nice backup lasagna in case anything pops up anyway. So I grew up in a Sicilian household, so we always usually have Italian food along with traditional fare. So we're going to probably mix it up, but it's just my wife and I, and it absolutely dumped about 7 inches of snow last. Matter of fact, it's still snowing right now pretty heavily. So we'll have a white Christmas for sure. It won't be snowing on Christmas, but it'll still be on the ground. Which hasn't happened since, ironically, 2015 when we were down in Miami for this game. So, you know what, man? I'm hoping all these little superstitious things, they all connect and we wind up coming out, because deep in my heart, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, I'm slightly fucking terrified for this game. So I'm just getting that right out the way.
So you got a backup lasagna ready to go. Eric B., what you got on the menu out there today? Anything delicious today?
Starting with the Samuel Adams Winter Brew, and heading to the parents very soon, right after this. And wanted to say Merry Christmas to you guys, you too. Thank you for having me again and spreading some knowledge.
Yes. Merry Christmas,
some
bro.
goodwill. So Merry Christmas to everyone, and anyone watching. Thank you, because I know I read the little comments and I appreciate every one of you. Anyway, we're gonna have a little hors d'oeuvres, French, Canadian style meat pie, wings, beer, poker. We're just gonna hang out, watch the game, and enjoy some time with fam.
Nice,
Beautiful.
Good deal. Well, I'll tell you what I got on the menu. It is sushi, if you know what I mean. It is time to squish the fish, but we all know,
throw that D.
Yeah, we know that the Dolphins are mammals. So in that case, for all of our smart fans out there that like to say, well, Dolphins aren't a fish, they're a mammal. Well, name the mammal in Miami. That is what's on the menu today. Dallas Cowboys, it is time to throw that fucking D today if you ever did. And what a place to be able to do it, for the birthplace of Two Live Crew down there, especially with two Cowboy fans from that era. Eric B., Bob, I appreciate you guys tapping in. Been a special Christmas Eve today. What will make it more special is sushi on the menu afterwards. But I'm BG, that's Eric B., and that's Bob. Y'all been in the trenches with us on the pregame. Make sure you turn on your notifications. You know I'm going to be live with the halftime shenanigans, and we'll be live, win, lose, or tie, after the game. So make sure you turn on your notifications. It'll be the post-game in the trenches. Any words of wisdom before we get out of here, Bob, Eric B.?
Hey, I just put my link to my YouTube channel. I just put out my second pre-98 Bubba Kush Grow Series video from the amazing grow that I just got. I'm about to actually, after curing this cannabis, I'm going to do a strain spotlight for that. So please go check out that video. I put a lot of work into it. A lot of crazy stuff happened when my house flooded, but I've got a lot of new content, a lot of strain spotlights that I think you guys will like. Anybody who loves cannabis, go check out my channel. I appreciate it. Much love.
Yes, sir. Eric B., any words of wisdom before we get out of here?
God bless you all over the holidays. Everybody stay safe. Go Cowboys.
All right, baby. On three, let's say it. Squish the fish. 1, 2, 3. Squish
the fish. Throw that D.
Yeah, throw that D. We'll see y'all in the post game after the show, baby.